but
उन्होंने एक किताब भी लिखी है, उसने मेरे को भी मेंशन किया है।
क्या बात है,
मेरे ऊपर भी थोड़ा सा है उस किताब में,
दीजिएगा नाम पे
पक्का।
Okay, so I'm not sure
Yes,
anybody else is
ये
coming on, but
जेफरसन है, ये वहां के। ही इज वेरी गुड फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन,
हाय हेलो।
hi.
and he is interested in your book. He wants to see your book, so I will give him your book.
Okay, it's in the library there at the music ashram, Devi.
Yes, yes, I will definitely show him.
I love to read different types of books, and she said that you are written a books.
It's a different type of book.
Yes.
The good thing would be to listen to the audiobook, which is why we're all here. Okay, I'm gonna start
Yes,
this way.
इसका एक ऑडियो बुक भी है।
Okay.
Can you hear it? Oh,
Sorry,
okay, it must be the Zoom. But anyway, that's the way that each of the chapters in the audiobook was started. So let me just say thank you all so much. I am so grateful for all of you and what we've done on this project. Um, I just really wanted to get everybody together because, we were contributing sound files from all over the United States, from Brazil, India, over the course of a year or more or something. I don't know. But it was quite a project, and it really couldn't have happened with all of you.
thank you so much.
Yeah, so I will first just say that our real quarterback, the man who made it all happen, Dave Welsh, put all the sound together, is not able to be here. We did a prior Zoom conversation with Michael and Roy about sort of the making of the audiobook, and it's worth seeing. Dave helped Victor Wooten, who's kind of the inspiration for doing this audiobook. His books, The Music
और
Lesson,
जूम मीटिंग सेट कर रहे हैं।
The Music Lesson, and gosh, what was the second one? Why can't I remember? The Music Lesson, The Spirit of Music. And when Vic said, why not do a soundtrack for a book? It just really, really grabbed me. Like, boy, I just really want to do this. It seems like a great potential genre for other musicians. If you know how to put together sound, why not make a book and put sound to it? But I had to write a book. And, there really was the original Fonging for the Soul book, which Gaye will remember because she was here. If you can see, does that look like Gaye?
Yeah, I can see her. Nice.
Yeah, there we are.
Gaye has been such a friend and supporter for such a long time. Let me show you this too.
Let me just add here,
Go
Jeff.
ahead. Sure.
I
Yeah.
would have done anything you asked me to. Wait a minute, Julie. I'm not talking about all of that, but I've known so few people who actually really work for peace and work for justice as the two of you. And I would have done anything to be supportive of any project you created. So it was an honor for me to be involved. And I'm sure other folks feel the same way. So march on with the music and march on with the sound. Yeah.
Well, thank you. And so, in the book, when they talk about Erasmus had come up with this crazy thing,
Yeah, you're crazy.
I'll say that this is the Fonging kit. And there's Gaye on the front of it. You see what she has put up with?
Oh, yeah, over the years.
The new craze that may be sweeping the nation. It says, what does it say here? Somewhere it says for travel and emergency use. The best experience you've ever heard. And it has an oven rack in there and some other stuff. So this has been kind of a project that's been going on for a long time.
Western होगा भैया, Indian नहीं बन सकता है।
Yeah.
I think we're hearing Devi's
Oh, yeah.
microphone.
Devi, I'm going to mute you and then you can unmute, okay? Um, gosh, where was I? When Vic talked about, making a soundtrack for the book, I had to come up with a story. And I had this thing in the back of my head about how, the angel came to Erasmus Caffrey. I wrote this first book under a pseudonym Erasmus Caffrey, because I was working in a law firm and didn't really want everybody to think I was completely wacky. So,
I was
so
wondering about that name.
yeah, I had to come up with a name kind of for myself. And, the idea, having had two granddaughters now and third one on the way, I just thought, God, the angel could come to the granddaughter, and the young women of the world can save the world through Fonging. However they want to do it is great. So that was sort of the process. But I knew David worked on Victor's audiobooks, and he came to me when he heard I was doing this project and said, "I'm glad to help." I don't know if he knew what he was getting himself into, because it was a big project. I mean, we had 18 characters. We ended up with two audiobooks. Um, there was sound from everywhere, as I mentioned, and he ended up getting so into it that he put it in Dolby Atmos, which is the sound is not just coming from the left and the right side, but from all around. And if somebody walking, you'll hear them going like over there. So I was just really happy that he was able to work on it. He's not able to be here, but in that prior video that we did, he shows some of the screen shot for when how it looks when he's putting that all together. So we've kind of all introduced each other here, but let me go around the room a little bit. I want to start off with Michael, um, because Michael was the inspiration for Victor, the music teacher, Michael, in Victor's books, and I got to know him. We had kind of a amazing conversation out of Wooten Woods that turned into a podcast, and I've gotten to know him, and he's music shaman, man. He's just something else. And I early on heard his voice as the narrator, and I've learned an awful lot from him. I mean, he first told me about the book Nada Brahma and a lot of things. So, um, I heard his voice as the narrator, and listening back to it in the last, couple of days. Wow, it really was good. His voice is just, Michael, you did a great job on that. So
Thank you, Jeffersonian.
I appreciate you and what you've done and what you brought to the book. And at the end of the book, I'm not giving away anything, I don't think. Michael's narrator character turns into a character and tells us some truth about sound. So I really appreciate that. Anything you'd like to say, Michael, about this process, or what's been happening, what's been going on, what your thoughts are about Fonging or anything else?
Fonging for the soul, fonging for the world. It has turned out, even recently, that a vibrational theory has unified the entire living universe. And by very careful measurement and detection, a cosmic fundamental vibration has been measured, which is estimated to be more than a vibration, because there's no time in between each of the cycles. The vibration occurs 22 trillion times per second. And from that vibration, which is a wavelength of over 30,000 light years, all other vibration is set into motion. I said something to Jeffersonian earlier, which had to do with the origin of 22 trillion pulses per second, which form fundamental tone from which matter, energy, time, and space and gravity are all made from this pulse. The pulse is creating everything and destroying everything and then creating it again 22 trillion times per second Jeffersonian.
Wow.
So the pendulum that we are hearing in the Fong is how close we get to sensing from the vibration of a material that is matter, a resonance with the cosmic fundamental. And the pendulum Jeffersonian is swinging from non-existence to existence, to non-existence to existence, and it does it 22 trillion repeats every second we know. And that this character was named very early on, this character of the succession of creation, destruction, creation, destruction. In the Ayurvedic, even pre-Hindu times, Jeffersonian, this is how Kali came to be. Kali, creation, and Shiva, destruction. And then even Kali tells Shiva what to do. It's the story. And in the Fong, we are sensing it in a way that goes to the very center of the vibration that is emanating from our vital force, our life, energy, consciousness. And then with the Fong, unity. Unity is what we strive for in the cosmic vibration. And Royale knows all about resonance. When you're resonating, that's the Om. And the resonance is how we come to unity and peace. And peace to you all. I love you all for doing this. It's pretty cool. Hey, Royale, do I look like Two-Face?
Well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Michael. You look good. You look like Michael. You good.
This
You're
is
good.
go ahead. The other, I want to get to everybody and give everybody a chance to say hello and what have you. But one of the things that was important to me as I was working on this crazy book, which Michael has just sort of explained the underlying premise of,
Vibration.
Peace Through Fonging, is I wanted to have a chapter that talked about, well, okay, you just read this crazy stuff or listened to this thing, and what do you do from here? So I asked Roy, who I say they don't call him Futureman for nothing, if he would write something up, and he did, and he read the book that I sent to him into his phone, sent it to me, and I said, well, this is so good. Your voice is amazing. We should do another audiobook, which probably, a lot of people would not have gone that route. But Roy did an amazing job with that. He supported the project the whole way through. So, Roy, thanks very much for doing that. Any comments about the book and the process or anything that were done? I really just appreciate what you've
Well,
done.
what I remember is that, your request, they say that a question starts a quest. And so you requested me to comment on the book. And so for me to really understand the book, I wanted to read the book. And to force myself to just go straight through, I recorded myself in audio. And so as I'm reading in audio, I'm assuming all the different characters. I'm really sinking myself into the story, into the characters. Like Gaye, your character, the singing the songs and stuff. I tried to sink myself into the blues, into the feeling of those characters. And after we knew it, I just had a flow going. And I think when Michael talked about resonance, resonance is a thing where you can hit a note on a piano, and even though you don't hit the other notes, if those notes are pressed down, they'll start the ones that are related to that note to just start vibrating, without being touched. And it seems like there are events like where they call it, I think, the 100th monkey, when they teach so many monkeys to wash sweet potatoes on one island. Then on the other islands, the monkeys just start washing potatoes, and like they learn how to do it without ever being connected. And so this resonance, I think, as I began to resonate with the story, it took me through the whole book, and we ended up with an audio version before we knew it. I just did it for me to sink into the story. Jefferson said that it was his first time to get a chance to really hear the story back. And so he liked it so much, he wanted me to do it for real. So I feel honored to be a part of this project, to meet you all now, to see Sandro. I was like, man, I read about Sandro, Gaye, Michael, Julie, the voice of nature. I mean, I read about all of you all. And so I'm realizing, besides seeing your picture, it's my first time actually seeing you guys living, breathing, and moving. So it's just an honor for me to be here, to take part in this project. So thank you all.
Thanks, Roy.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't know who to go with. Devi, you have a little bit of time, or do you have to leave soon? I don't know if you hear. Did you hear, Devi? Let me know if you need to leave, because I'll give you a chance to talk next. But I wanted to start off or go next to Kathleen, who, if Dave was here, he would say, "Oh my gosh, Kathleen's was perfect." I mean, and really listening to what you did, Kathleen, everything, the vocals, the reading, the intonation, the singing. I mean, you really just were the kind of like the star of the book in a sense, and you were meant to be as, the granddaughter of Erasmus Caffrey. And so everybody will know, Kathleen is with the group Lady. You can explain more about this in a sec. LVDY, and is going around singing. She's on tour, but she was doing vocal exploration lessons and things. And my son Max took some, or maybe knew Kathleen, suggested I was interested in taking some vocal exploration lessons, and we did a few online versions. And then when it came time to find the granddaughter, all of a sudden I was kind of stuck. And I found, I got in touch with Kathleen. She was coming out of the Peru, having done some plant medicine stuff herself, I think. And really, I just can't thank you enough for agreeing to do that. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. Hopefully, learned something from it. Dave said you were just amazing to work with, and I just couldn't be more proud if unless you were my actual granddaughter. And so, thanks very much. How was it doing this project? I mean, you did tell me my book was a little bit out there at one point, but You were just such a trooper, and every part was great. And then tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Sure. Thanks, Jeff. Hi, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. I mean, we can all admit it's a little out there, right? And there, I think all of us here perhaps are a little out there. I, yes, I was in Peru transitioning out of many days sitting with grandmother ayahuasca plant medicine and was deep in a healing portal, honestly, and was on a solo journey traveling around Peru and paying attention to my heart and the callings. And it's fascinating to me that pretty much what Aria does throughout the journey of the book is what I do in my life, which is basically travel around the world and share the healing sounds of the universe. I'm a traveling singer and touring musician and teach people to connect to their sounds and their voices and their vibration and their resonance. And that is deeply what I'm called to do on this planet. I never thought it would also entail some shoelaces and an oven rack, but here we are. And it's interesting because I I fonged with my bandmate Aubrey, and she like lost her marble. She was like, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened. And depending on where we're staying as we tour, we kind of plant the seed if the people who are hosting us are interested to fong with us. So we've been fonging with the people that we're traveling to stay with. And so I kind of feel like I've become Aria in this life of going around and singing and sharing songs of the universe and then teaching people about belonging. And it's become a hilarious, ridiculous conversation starter. And most people don't believe me. Most people are like, what, this doesn't make any sense. And then we do it. And it's caused a lot of joy, and it's made some fun impacts in people's lives. So it's spreading. It's slowly but surely spreading. And I have I have so much gratitude there that I have the equipment that I needed to record in a nice way. For my birthday many years ago, a bunch of friends of mine got together and pooled their money to buy me a beautiful microphone. So that's what I used to record this audiobook, and that's what I used to record a lot of my own music and produce my own music. And I also have many years of voiceover acting and singing and performing under my belt. My mother's a voiceover actor, and so it came really naturally to me. I've been in musical theater most of my life and on and off of many stages, so it felt like a fun new project that I got to try on, and so I'm grateful for the opportunity. And it has it has definitely become a, how do I say this? When you're in a group of people and someone says like share a funky or a weird fact about you, this has become my new strange fact that I read an audiobook for something called Fonging, and most people are very confused and a little like, what does that mean? That sounds kind of strange. And but it's become a fun conversation starter. So glad to see you all and put some faces to the voices. And I've seen most of you before, but it's nice to reconnect.
So do you need any little travel racks to take around with you, or
You sent me one already.
did
So,
I? Oh my, oh, wow.
mhm. Yep, I have the oven mitt and the shaker and the shoelaces. I will say though, there's a different resonance in a larger rack than in a smaller rack. and different size shoelaces on different. We've gone we've gone deep with this.
Yeah.
I'll say my favorite kitchen utensil to fong with is a oh shoot, it's like a silicone spatula.
Spatula.
That one has the deepest, biggest sound. And I prefer few and far between, not like bang, 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 bang.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we can really get it.
Yeah, you're really into it because it is kind of it's like it's just sort of like a sound bath, but too
Totally.
much is
Too much is too much. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be overwhelming and like, oh, I don't know, but it feels like like your brain is in some sort of like cathedral cave of sorts.
Well, great, thanks. And I want to also give everybody a chance if you have questions, but because Davy is however 1,000 miles away, and is taking time out of her show and whatever, and I just wanted to let me ask you to unmute Davy so you um, can Davy, can you unmute your and then talk? Can you unmute your phone? Unmute. Well, you're muted. So if you can unmute.
Yes, yes,
Okay. So
yes.
this is a remarkable thing. When I had a business meeting in Delhi in 2020, I ended up going to Rishikesh, was going to go to Maharishi's ashram, Maharishi's, yes, his ashram. And while I was there, I got called. I mean, it was just like I didn't know anything about this music ashram. And I really got led to the Devi Music Ashram in Rishikesh. It was really amazing. It's a beautiful place. She and her father and brother and sister and the family has this amazing place that is you can come and stay. They have classical Indian singing and classical sitar and lessons and everything else. And
आप
then
लोग का खाना हुआ?
and then it was really even kind of more bizarre in that I had this idea of going to Greece and maybe if we could find a music ashram. And I asked Davy if she'd like to come, and she did.
Yes.
Spent 10 days in Greece traveling around, and we ended up interviewing a bunch of people, and I got to know her, and she's one of the nicest people in the whole planet. And
Thank you. Thank you so
amazing.
much.
So, Davy, thank you for being part of this project. I know it's very late there in India. It's probably like 11 o'clock. So
Yes.
how you had to put the sound down in a in the music ashram. Raj sent it to me. Thanks for being part of it. Any comments or thoughts about being involved in this project?
Thank you so much. And hello to everyone. And with Jefferson, we are connected with heart, and my whole family likes you a lot. And we feel like you're part of our family. And I'm so grateful that you made me part of your book. And I did some part in your book. So it is my pleasure. It's a great honor for all of us. My whole family is very grateful for it. And as I heard that you are coming to Rishikesh again in March, so I'm very excited for it and looking forward to meet you, see you. And I hope maybe some of your friends also coming to the ashram. They are also most welcome if they want to come. So thank you so much. And yeah, it's late night here, and I'm still with some people who are involved in the music concert. So they are waiting for me. So I have to meet them. But anyway, you asked me to come for 5 minutes. So I said, no, I must meet Jefferson through Zoom. So it is really nice seeing you. And of course, it was so great to see all of you, all your other other people who were part of the book. So I would like to say good night, and I will connect very soon, and looking forward to see you soon in Rishikesh.
Okay, yes, I'll look forward to seeing you soon too. And seriously, if anybody wants to go, it's not very expensive per night in the music ashram, and you have almost every day of the week. Plus, Sandro is leading a group from Brazil there. We're going in March, and he's going to be in Rishikesh for about 5 days, I think.
Wow.
Mhm.
So maybe we're not going in any particular order, but that's a little bit of a segue. Um, I met Sandro at the music ashram,
Mm.
Yes.
and that's the first time I went. I can remember it, and he was like, "Oh, let me see that guitar," because it was a little travel guitar. He said, "I want this guitar." Well, I ended up giving it to him in. I left the second time I went to Rishikesh. I left it there for you, and you picked it up. But
ये गाड़ी बेटा आपसे मिलने आए थे एक बार।
it's been
फोन पे रहेंगे बाद में
a
रख
great
लेना खाना खा
uh,
लीजिए
thing to know Sandro. He really is also a music shaman. He uh, takes people on plant medicine journeys. He goes into the rainforest. He takes people from Brazil to India. First time I met him, there must have been 30 people, and they're all playing ukuleles on the bank of the Ganga.
Mhm.
And then we were very fortunate. Julie and I hosted him here in the U.S. He came, he made it like the book, as he said. When I went to the Amazon, he said, "Come and make it like the book." And so we did. And so Sandro came, stayed at our house. The scenes in the book where they go to the mall, National Mall at night, we did that.
Mm.
We got from Jamie Raskin, Congressman Jamie Raskin, who is the inspiration for Congressman Hoya's Jaskin in the book. His staff allowed us to go down. They took us on a tour of the Capitol. We went down onto the floor of the Capitol where Aria, i.e., Kathleen, had tightrope walked across the railing and jumped down on the rostrum and delivered that great singing of the Fong, hit the Fod note. And then we went to New York, where Ms. Joye and Aria had gone to the Strawberries Fields Memorial to John Lennon. So we really had a great time. And so, Sandro, thank you so much for everything you've done. Thank you for being a friend. What's going on? Do you have any thoughts or comments? Say hello to people. Tell them what you're thinking about. Really, just happy for you to uh,
Hello, everybody. So the famous guitar from Jefferson is this one. Then I painted very beautiful here in Brazil. Like one shamanic instruments to travel. And our first connection was the music in Music Asher, and I think all of us are connected through the book, through this history, but have one inside of us, have one goodwill to spread out good things, not only the music, not only the blasted, but I think the world want good persons to develop good things. So was amazing. Met Jefferson in Erasmus, Jefferson Erasmus in India. And after this, I'm inviting him to come to Brazil, to Amazon forest. So come on, let's go and let's check the forest and the tribes and the ayahuasca medicine. So I say you have history to share with your all your family, all your parents, your son, your grandsons, and was very strong experience of Jefferson in the Amazon forest. Took ayahuasca for the first time. One man from Washington, D.C., shaking himself and push hard. How was for you, Jefferson? Please share with us. How was this experience?
I thought I was going to die.
Ah.
I mean, literally, I said, okay, I'm lying here. There was a big hit. And I said, just remember to breathe.
Yes.
But visiting the tribe I mean, this is a tribe that lives in the Amazon rainforest. And to see the connection and the camaraderie and the support they all have for one another was really remarkable. I mean, Kathleen probably, knows something about that from her trips there. But it was amazing. And Sandro, you're such a spiritual, wonderful guy. We had a great time going around here in the U.S. with you, and we made it like the book. And in many ways, we're kind of living the book, like Kathleen was saying. We're kind of living this dream world, and it's pretty fun.
Yes.
So
And I wanna invite everyone to go to Jefferson Island. Very beautiful.
yep, down in the Potomac River, the inspiration
Potomac River, that's it. Yes.
island that the Native Americans, with using sound, decided to just make themselves separate in time and space from everything. It was all
For
pretty
me, it
rare.
was one great experience to do part of all this and be a character, but uh, recording some songs like Pachamama. So it's beautiful, beautiful.
I love that song.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did a
And
concert.
this year we play at this American tour on the church in Washington and Mohawk territory too. So was fantastic. Great job, Jefferson. I don't think we have a similar projects like this on the world. So it's very important, not only for you, and give a little bit work to Julie too, but
Yeah.
let's go, let's fly. So, thank you so much for all, my friend, and keep in touch. And I will see you next year in Rishikesh, and let's do our shamanic meeting.
Yes. Do that. Okay. Again, no particular order, but I tell you, in terms of going back, in terms of years of friendship and admiration for somebody, um, I first met Gaye at Blues Week in West Virginia, and at the time she's a star. She traveled for years with Sapphire and the Uppity Blues Women. Is really an icon or an iconess. She's written so many kick-ass songs, really, that go to the essence. She always goes to the core of things. And I have so much admiration for her. And Vic had said his method for doing the book was to create characters in the book based on people that he knew, like the teacher Michael and Michael. And I went to Gaye early on and I said, well, Gaye, I'm thinking about doing this book, and I'd love you if I could make a character based on you, and maybe you could read your part. And she said yes. And she was very diligent in when I sent the script to her, reading it, getting me comments back. And I'm kind of overwhelmed at how fortunate I am to know Gaye Adegbalola and everything that she has done. She's a griot. She's a truth teller. She's an inspiration. And I can't thank you enough for being here, doing this project, supporting it. So, Gaye,
Okay, Gaye, take it away.
take it, Miss Joy, Miss
Yeah,
Joy.
so
It's
I've
Joe.
I've known of this project longer than anyone here except for Julie. And when I first heard about it and related to it, I thought, oh my, this is just something that you do at a party when everybody is high. You get everybody high and then you phone.
You pull out the
And
oven racks.
yeah, well, yeah, so I was thinking of it as just kind of like a joke. Um, and then just the name Fong, it was kind of cartoonish, if you will. And then when you did the book with my picture and Suzanne's drawings, I thought that was kind of cartoonish too. So I thought, oh, this is a cute project. And I did not see the depth at that time. when you came back around with this project, it was like, oh my goodness, this is kind of mind-boggling. And I saw that you were trying to teach some universal truths, if you will. And some people call it magic, some people call it God. And of course, I was raised in the Baptist church and I go to church most every Sunday. That's what I would call it. But basically, I don't go so deep as to figure out how things work. I just kind of stand on the faith alone. However, for 18 years, I taught eighth grade science. And I would always start with the unit on sound because it would always blow the kids' minds. Once I did a few experiments with them, and they got to understand how when you double the frequency, you change one octave. And you double the frequency again, and you get another octave. They came to understand when you talk about why a guard leads a fast break and the center moves slower, and they understand the relationship of movement and vibration, then they come to understand the magic of the universe. So this project does that on a deeper kind of level. And I was enthralled by the project. And I must say that my Blackness kind of informs everything I do. So I was absolutely delighted when Jeff put Lift Every Voice and Sing and included it in this book about godly things. He included the song. And then he said, oh yeah, you're gonna sing it. I said, I am. Because it has a real deep as in low part in the middle. And I said, who's gonna play? And he said, oh, you are. I am. And yeah, and the chords were really easier than I thought because they sounded so unusual, thanks to the Johnson brothers, James Weldon uh, and the other brother. But anyways, so I learned the part, and then on my next CD, I opted to put the song on there. Thanks to Jeff, he led me to some self-knowledge, which I was in turn able to give to other people in a very easy kind of way. So yeah, fong on, buddy. Just keep on fonging, and I'll keep trying to get that deep. But in the meanwhile, I'm just going to enjoy the ride that the universe has given me. Amen and amen again. Yeah. So
Amen.
thank you.
And again, oh, thank you, Gaye. It was, that you were amazing in the audiobook. That song I have thought about once I learned of it, and I looked at the chords and I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot of chords here. And we kind of worked out a version that wasn't, you know, as complicated, and it just ended up that it had to be in the book.
Oh,
And
so
go
when you
ahead.
get to the complicated chords, you just sing louder. You sing over top of the chord. That's all.
Yeah, but it was a great version. I was listening to it this morning.
Yeah.
Um, I'll just finish off our little introduction, which has gone on for a while. Uh, Julie has, I think, I get involved with a number of different things, and she's been
And
so
she knows you're crazy in a
no,
good
I'm
way. In a
crazy.
good way. Yeah, yeah, you are.
Has been very supportive, and probably just thought, oh my God, this is another crazy project. But it did come the time, since we had 18 characters, that I needed some people to do the roles, and Mother Earth was the one that came around to Julie. And Julie, I just want to thank you for, I mean, she's just upstairs here, but I want to thank you for doing that. And it was perfectly read. And thanks for just being part of all this. I mean, look where we are. Look at these beautiful, amazing people that are just on this screen right now, and that we've been really blessed and fortunate to know and to learn from. So, Julie, thanks.
You're very welcome. I did get voluntold that I was going to be Mother Earth, which was fine. But then when it came, I didn't realize when it came to my time to go downstairs to record. Jeff said, "Julie, can you come down here?" And I trotted down those stairs behind Jeff, and everything was set up for me to read my few lines, and I hadn't done my homework. So it was really on the spot, but I enjoyed it. So I have a funny story though to tell about that traveling kit, the Fonging traveling kit, Kathleen. When that first came out, we were going on a trip to Denver.
Oh my God, you're going to tell that story?
Yeah, and we were in the airport.
Excuse me. You cannot say when I first came out.
Oh, right.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
That's misleading.
Thank you. When it was first released, thank you. We were in the airport, and Jeff wanted to get some B-roll and some pictures of the traveling kit. So we're going around Dulles International Airport taking pictures and having just a hoot, and people would ask us about it, and we explained. They're like, "What on earth?" Well, evidently, while we're laughing and having a great time, they're calling our names. Like, this is the last call for Julie Littell and Jeff Glassie. The gate's closing, and we completely missed our flight. We did good pictures, but we missed our flight. The other fun story, I so much fun having time with a lot of you. Kathleen, I'm really looking forward to someday seeing you in 3D. One time we were on a Zoom call with Miss Gaye. She did these back porch smack. What is that again? Talking smack.
And talking schmack. But Gaye did that for a couple of years during the pandemic.
And she wanted to do just a change up in her hair, and she was going to change the color. And you're asking people, what color should I do? And I'm like, Miss Gaye, you have to do sapphire blue. Mm. It was fun. It was good.
That's why you were blue sap in the book, Gaye.
You were saying something, Gaye, but your mic was muted.
I think off.
There you go.
Maybe it's time to do it again.
Maybe it's time. We all are going to need some shake-up to get through this.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And some days I like to say I'm very glad I'm old.
Yeah.
So I just don't have to see what all is coming.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So let me say one more thing, and then if anybody has any questions, I appreciate your time and all that. You know, I first... in about the year 2000, after my midlife crisis, I got A Course in Miracles book, which Roy knows about, and Love is Letting Go of Fear. And I really got into it. And love is letting go of fear. What does that mean? It's become sort of my spiritual mantra for life. And I wrote a book called Peace and Forgiveness, and then Poems of Peace and Forgiveness, and then Heaven is Everywhere. And I keep trying to say these things that I think are truths. And I don't know if people listen or whatever, but after the Heaven is Everywhere book came out in about 2014, I did a presentation to the American Humanist Association. And I called it 5 Easy Steps to Peace. It's take the fear out of religion, put trust in politics, don't worry so much about money, be one with the environment, and embrace our sexuality. And so when it came to this book, you may note that some of the key chapters with the characters reflect each of those things. With Alexander Bozos, it was about money. In India, it was about religion. And so I kind of believe that if you have something to say and people don't hear you when you say it, you got to say it another way. It's up to you. It's up to me to try to say it another way. So that's what this is all about. Um, I appreciate everything that everybody has done here, and I decided this morning, re-listening to some of the parts, particularly the end, Roy's onward section, and even my gratitude section, that this is what we need now. You know, we're at a kind of a juncture in our societal life, and I'll keep doing what I can do. I might try to do something like ask the Fong Master or vibing with the Fong Master, and can talk with people about some of these other truths that don't always come through in the planetary gig stuff. But I appreciate your doing that. Any questions? Any questions for anybody else here? What happened? Anything going on? Anything else you want to say? Uh,
Jefferson, for people who hear this later, where can they get the book and the audiobook?
the book is on Amazon only. It's not in bookstores or anything. I didn't print them because I still have about 2,000 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day of, when you did a book, you had to get a couple thousand of them. So I have boxes of some of these original books. Just get it on Amazon. But the audiobooks, both the full soundtrack book that I call it, as we call it, and Roy's version, which really is a treat because he has a great voice, but he sang the songs, even the Hindu song, the one that was in Hindi. Roy's version of that is really pretty good, considering he has no idea what the words mean or even how they're pronounced or anything. But it's on all of the audiobook platforms. And I do, we had kind of agreed if we made any money, we'd kind of split it up among people, but we're not making any money so far. So I am hopeful that for the sake of just getting some of these thoughts out. And, Kathleen, I admire what you're doing because you're being like Gaye Adegbalola, like, a troubadour. In Nepal, they called him the Gandharva, going out there and speaking your truth. The Wooten brothers do that too. And Michael's doing that. He's doing a series at the San Miguel Chapel in Santa Fe with Lorianne Fiorentino for each of the chemical elements. What number are you up to now, Michael?
39.
39. They've done 39 concerts, each one about a unique chemical element and what its characteristics are in song.
2 were yesterday, and it was in Albuquerque. Carbon 14 and cesium 133. Carbon 14 will help you see how long ago something happened. Cesium 133 was used for atomic clocks because it had a frequency of like over 9 billion hertz.
Yeesh.
Whoa.
So we're all out there doing these things. Sandro is really making a difference for the people that he helps all the time in Brazil, and so I just appreciate what all of you are doing. Any other questions or for anybody or comments or anything?
My comment is that, when I read the book, I was just sinking myself into the names and the personality of the characters, who the actual people. So it's nice to meet Kathleen as Aria, to meet Gaye as Miss Joye. I tried to sink into that personality, and Sandro and Erasmus, and just seeing everybody, the actual people who are the people, is really a pleasure for me. And I want to shout out to Dave, who did the soundtrack, and he did the audio effects too. It's one thing to do the music, but it's another thing to do the sounds too. So just want to shout out for Dave for diving into this project with both feet.
Yo, Dave.
Absolutely. I mean,
Dave knows.
Bird sounds, the book starts off and Aria is asleep and there's a clock. In the background, which when I first heard it, I'm like, what is going on? But anyway, he did a great job. So thank you, everybody. I hope we can all connect again very soon. Kathleen, I'm so happy that
Thank you,
had a great,
Jefferson, Erasmus.
Kathleen, you had a great retreat that you did at, is it called Beulah?
The retreat center is called Bayul. It's about
Bayul.
an hour outside of Aspen, Colorado.
Rising Appalachia does something there, don't they?
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, if you come east,
I would love to see any of y'all at future lady shows. I'll keep you posted on where we go and when we're there. And if you're cool with it, I'll add you to our email list. We won't over bombard you, we promise. We just send out when we have new music and where we're traveling, and would love to see you at a future show at some point. And I can share our voices live in person, which is how I prefer to connect.
Yeah.
So Kathleen, is there any aria melody or something that sticks out to you that you could sing right now?
You made up a couple of things. You hit the fad note.
I did.
Which I just made up. And just so you, there's this Indian concept of nad, which is the unstruck sound, the sound from which all other sounds come from. And so I just made it into the fad because fonging and nod, I thought, well, let's just call it something different. So, but your singing is just beautiful and really graced this audiobook. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. I could sing something briefly. It's a new song that my bandmate Aubrey and I are playing with right now, and it's just about gratitude, which I think is one of the most important antidotes and can always help lighten our mood and lighten the load when things feel extremely heavy as they do these days. So here's a little bit of that. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you for the rain. Thank you for the beauty. Thank you for the pain. Thank you for the joy. Thank you for the sorrow. Thank you for today that gives the gift of tomorrow. Thank you to the ocean. Thank you to the trees. Thank you to the desert. Thank you to the seas. Thank you to the young. Thank you to the old. Thank you to the ones who come before.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Long on. That's all I can say. Onward. Let's keep on going. See you all soon.
Yeah, Jefferson. Thank you all. Thank you all.
I'm just going to